Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do our May the 9th spiritual principle day in a meditation. I hope you're doing well today. Now, let's go ahead and get into the meditation. The title of the meditation, Love in Step 12. Love in Step 12. When we are practicing Step 12 to the best of our ability, love becomes central to all that we do. There's no more powerful antidote to the despair and self-destruction of addiction. That comes from the Living Clean book, chapter 7, Love. Love in Narcotics Anonymous is the 12th step in action. We felt the power of love when we entered our first meeting and were welcomed, no matter what we looked like, where we came from, how we smelled, or who we came with. We found open arms and true acceptance, perhaps for the first time in our lives. The hugs, genuine care and concern, and offers of support extended to us provide a powerful model of love in action. In the beginning, allowing ourselves to receive this love takes some effort. Eventually, we get to give it away. That sounds simple, but it's not always easy. Through service, we learn to love even those members we don't really like. Sometimes we're surprised by what can happen when we focus on the primary purpose and choose principled actions. One H&I subcommittee member recalled serving on a panel with his least favorite person in the rooms. We set our differences aside and focused on our primary purpose. The member shared, "We're never going to be best friends, but I could see his heart was in the right place. We both loved NA and wanted to help the addict who still suffers." As NA members, we understand that sharing the message is an act of love. We share and we care to sustain our own recovery and to help the sick and suffering addict. It's what saves us all from the desperate and self-destructive lives we've known. After being in NA for some time, we also appreciate the love extended to those who've been here for a while, who need love just as surely as they did on their first day clean. While love alone may not help us overcome all our problems, it sure does provide a great springboard toward the solution. I will put love into action by carrying the NA message today. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the wee version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. That's cute. That's where the thank you comes in. Yeah, I was really just silent in thinking about love and even talking about it in the scope of Narcotics Anonymous seems still, I experience it. I definitely give it, but talking about it seems still somewhat awkward for me personally. And I was just thinking about what direction to go. And I ended up saying thank you before I meant to say thank you. But, you know, that's fine. Uh, That's fine. It's no issue. It's just that I wonder sometimes why, with all these years clean, that's still like a topic that's uncomfortable. 30 plus years, you would think I could talk about love anytime, right? Anytime. And I think what it is that sometimes when we talk about love as human beings, we still are talking about sexual intimacy and that one-on-one with a partner. We're not really talking about platonic love or I call it agape love. We're talking about eros. We're not talking about the agape love that is a general love that we have for fellow individuals. I don't think that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about philia, which is even more general, right? A lot of times we confuse it with eros, and because we confuse it with that intimacy and one-on-one love, sometimes I think what happens is that we get quite awkward. Awkward. I was thinking to myself how awkward even discussing this would be, but it's not really because it's something that I live, right? It's something that I live. It's something that I receive from other people quite often. Sometimes when I'm going through the comments and I'm reading your responses, to the meditation, I am moved by the level of love and regard that you have for me. And so I don't know why the difficulty in discussing it. But I do know that it's something that we received freely when we came into Narcotics Anonymous. We received love in the embodiment. Let's go there, right? In the embodiment of step 12. Having had, right? Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we were able to do what? Take these spiritual principles and apply them in all of our affairs. What else did we do? We try to carry this message to the addict that still suffer. So when I come to Narcotics Anonymous and I sit down for the first time, the love that others show me is embodied within this 12th step. It's the proof of their 12th step, right? It's also the proof of their gratitude, right? So I'm on the receiving end when I first get here. But hopefully, right, the essence of this meditation is that you don't stay there, that we don't always sit in that seat of receiving. Now we're able to stand in the place of giving the same thing that we sat and received, right? And it comes with time. And for some people, it really never comes, right? They will always conduct themselves like newcomers, right? They will always be on the receiving end of what others have to offer. And that just is proof that they have not had a thorough working of these steps. And the 12th step in particular, right? Because it's almost impossible for me, I think it's impossible to be in the atmosphere of recovery, participating in one's recovery, having a sponsor, working the steps and applying spiritual principles of the steps, and not be able to switch things around where you're actually a giver and not the receiver. But you will find that it is reciprocal, right? It is something that is a give and take, right? You'll receive it at times, periodically, when you least expect it or when you mostly need it. I'm not saying that, you work the steps and you never need to receive love. As it says here, even old timers, even those that have been around a while, they need to receive that too, right? But the point is that we all graduate, move on to this spiritual plane where we're able to give back what was freely given to us. So here's the thing. Putting love into action by carrying the NA message today. Let's be mindful of that. Let's be mindful. It's not about promotion, it's about attraction, right? I can tell that there's some people attracted to just the atmosphere created here of me reading something that is spiritual minded, or maybe they're in recovery actually. I don't know, right? I can tell they're attracted to it because they're not leaving and they're done, right? Um, we can carry the message in many ways. The best place to do it, I think the best place to do it is in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. So many opportunities. Sometimes people judge people that reach out to the newcomer and they'll say things like they just always with them newcomers. You know what? The newcomers are probably always with them, right? Because they've created a atmosphere of love within the embodiment of the 12 step that newcomers are attracted to, that they feel like, oh, I want that in my life. I want to be around that person. Or they don't act funny when they're talking to me. They know I'm new and they treat me like I've been around forever. Newcomers like that. They like feeling welcomed and not being made to feel like it's a problem for them to not know the certain things, to not have the answers, or to even relapse. They like that. Today, let's be an attraction. Today, let's be love within the embodiment of that step 12 and allow our experience, strength, and hope, right? Our development of love to shine through and touch, I would say, all that come near us in some form or fashion. Everyone doesn't need to know you're a recovering addict, right? To receive the benefits of you carrying the message, right? Everyone doesn't need to know that, but we can actually apply this spiritual principle of love to everyone we meet. So let's get out there and get it today, okay? My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you will have a beautiful day on purpose. I intend to.